All right, y'all. Another episode of Deep Talk. Tell the people, man, who we got in front of the camera today.
VICKS, man. Thank you for having me.
What's going on, Vic? So, where you from, man?
Man, I'm from, Wilmington, Delaware. You know what I'm saying? Born and raised out here.
So, tell the people a little bit about what you do.
Simplified, man, I'm a music business consultant.
Mm-hmm.
And what that means is I deal in the world of music and business. I like helping different entities get their products out there, as well as market and promote it and support it. So, I mean, that's what I'm an advocate for artists.
Okay, advocate for artists. So, you used to, back in the day, manage or run a label.
Yeah. Fortress
Empire.
Fortress Empire. Shout out to Cousteau too. I'm still president of Fortress Empire. Still.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Fortress Empire is a company ran by me and Cousteau. Right now Cousteau's chilling. I'm just running around with my arms out and just helping everybody that I could possibly can. But Fortress Empire, it started from way before even Fortress Empire was 700 Entertainment with Young Ali and all those guys like that. So it started there. And then once I shut the studio down, I kind of just went through a hiatus, and then my brother Flex, God rest his soul, he kept saying, yo, you should come to check out Cousteau out. And so me and Killer had a meeting. I checked out Cousteau's album. That's when he had to hit Rise Slow. And I said I can commercially work with that. And that just kicked off the whole thing with Fortress Empire, just the Rise Slow. And then we came with everything else under there. So, yeah.
Okay, so how long did that last? Like, how long was you Fortress stand for?
I mean, what I was doing with Cousteau, that was like probably about a year and a half, 2 year run until everything got jacked up when he got locked up and things of that nature. Then he turned a different leaf. So, I just keep the company running.
So you, who else was it after him that you was?
Fortress Empire consists of SC the Street Child, Young C, who am I missing? You had KC Television. You know what I mean? Killer Noise. It was just like one big conglomerate of people. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Did I answer that right, Kay?
Yeah, you answered that right, man. You answered it right. So let me ask you something.
Yeah.
How do you feel about gatekeeper?
I think that shit is corny. I think it's corny, man. I think, there's no sharing is caring is the best way to me. I mean, I wouldn't survive as long as I did if I didn't share and care. So I try not to gatekeep as much as possible. So I don't believe in really gatekeeping. I believe in letting the floodgates open.
I believe in letting the floodgates open.
Yeah.
So if somebody came to you was like, hey man, I want you to show me how to do this. I'm doing the same exact thing you doing. I want to learn how to do it. I'll
show him. Right now, I got an assistant right now named Randy. Shout out to Randy. She follows me right now through my boy DJ Sean Classic. Happy belated birthday too, Sean. She was shadowing him for a while, and he was like, when I came to Dewey's little function, it was like, yo, you need to get with VICKS, and then she's been shadowing me ever since. So I don't mind showing people because it's more than enough. If you show these people this, like, and I give a perfect example, my lawyer now, he started as my consultant for Fortress Empire. You know what I mean? Named Sebastian Richards. And now he's a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? Entertainment, well, he's more in the real estate, but he handles a little bit of entertainment lawyer shit. But he started as a consultant and, never burned those bridges. So I always say, like, sharing is caring, and you put seeds out everywhere. You never know where that flower is going to grow.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So to me, I believe in that method than hogging the plate.
Cause a lot of people feel like, oh, if I show them how to do it, they're gonna take my shine, or they're gonna take my job, or
nah. If you're a winner anyway, you gonna win.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All that insecurities and all that shit. That shit don't work.
Don't work.
It don't work. It don't work. All you do, what you wind up doing. You wind up stopping your blessings. That's how I look at it. Because I've been in this game for like 20 years. So I didn't try to gatekeeping. I didn't even try hogging my plate. I always was a sharing, caring guy, but I just watched people that was always like, hogging something or whatever like that. It just doesn't last. And then, you're running to that person that you blocked a long time ago, and that motherfucker be in the ups. And he'll remember that shit. And you know what I mean? And it carries. I can make an example. Meek Mills. You know what I'm saying? I still think Meek Mills hate me to this day from we having a misunderstanding at Takedown Records. You know what I'm saying? At the time, he was looking at the illusion or the perception of me running with Young Alley and everything and thought like, you know, could manage people, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, that was like a default, you know what I mean? And so to me, giving them a gift of like, yo, you should try to work with someone that really does it for real, you know what I mean? Instead of whatever like that, I think he took offense to that. And to this day, it was, and this is proven fact. We had a show. It was me, Cousteau, Meek Mills. We was doing a show in Jersey, and the promoter grabbed us first because that's when Cousteau was like killing it, the world star everywhere.
Yeah, I remember that way.
Drummer Boy.
He messed with OJ Juice Man.
Right. So you know, with all that going on, so we had this show, and then once Meek Mill found out who was coming and all that stuff like that, he told the promoter like he wasn't going to do it, and we was off the show or something like that. And that's true facts. And I just like, you know, you see how petty that is.
So you telling me Meek Mill tried to get y'all off the show?
He got us off the show.
Oh, he got y'all off the show.
Yeah. Like, cause the promoter paid him like, I think it was like $7,500 or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, me and Kusa didn't want, you know, we real G's, so we just, you know, just let it be. But, you know, suckerism is real. But then look at the karma now. Look at the karma now. I don't know if it's AI really getting back shot or whatever, but I'm just saying, you know, I'm just speaking real talk.
He do got a lot going on right now.
But shout out to Meek though. You know, I still support, you know what I mean? He make good music, so I ain't got no problem with that. But I just, you know, real recognize real, and you know, suckerism is real.
If you feel as though he feeding into, I think he trying to pay somebody to find out.
Yeah, man, he ain't gonna pay nobody. You know,
him doing that. Do you feel as though there's some truth to it, or he? You know what I mean?
He look like a sucker, man. To me, at the end of the day, he look like a sucker, man. I like, you know, suckerism is real. You know what I mean? Remember back in the day, they used to say, stay sucker free. Mm-hmm. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And you know the whole, and I'm not. We don't want to stay on that because I don't want the interview to be about that. But I mean, him all in the pool and shit, that daddy shit, that wasn't no AI. When do you allow a grown man, yo, what's up, daddy?
Oh, you daddy?
Yeah, that shit wild. You feel what I'm saying? And in my world,
you don't think that's just his lingo?
Fuck out of here. I mean, it's cool. You know, who doesn't want, like, you know, I ain't gonna front, like, who doesn't want to go to a Diddy party? But it's just weird. You did everything. You did everything what 50 said not to do per se. You went shopping with the nigga. Got pictures with you matching outfits and shit. That's weird. You know what I'm saying? It ain't nothing weird. No, I'm not saying that either, because not like I have not. I'm a frat, so Phi Beta Sigma, shout out to them. You know, like not like we don't wear the same shit, but it's a cause for the situation. It just look weird. Pull the picture up and look at the picture. Even look at his body language. Look at the body language, yo. And that's not me trying to throw salt on anybody. Nah, I'm not a clout chaser. I'm just saying, read between the lines, man. And you know, year 2025 it's the time for the year of the truth. And that's what it is right now.
All right, so back to Gatekeeper.
Okay.
So basically, you feel as though that's some corny. That's corny. That's shit. Just, you know,
corny shit. Help one human out. You know what I'm saying? One humanity can do a good deed in a universal law. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You know, so that's what I really believe in. You know,
ain't nothing wrong with that. All right, so Bridge to the Streets.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Bridge to the Streets. Shout out to Nat Nelson, one of my mentors from Street Most Magazine. Put this shit up real quick. Let's burn my fucking face. But fuck, Bridge to the Streets was how that all came about was me and Kusa was just, our accolades and resume was just sick. So one of her mentors, Nat Nelson, he was like, yo, Jay, y'all can get the station. And I was like, nah, man, Tony Q ain't fucking, you know what I'm saying? He ain't. And then we just went in there one day, and shout out to Aviator Key's mom, Nancy. She made that shit happen. You know, Tony Q was trying to ignore it. I came in there with the gift because he just got a new Hummer or some shit. He had a black Hummer, so I came in there with a like a motherfucking Hummer about this big, customized with the Kiss logos all on it and shit like that. And the only thing I might have fucked up, I had Kuso face smashed in the front of the motherfucker. Like, I think if I can remember correct, I think Kuso face was on that bitch. And first he was like not trying to take it, and then Nancy was like, you're not gonna take these young black men conversation. And at the time, I think who was on the phone? God, I used to remember who was on the phone because it was somebody really big. It was Tony Q, a Big Will on the phone, and it's me and Cousteau in there, and they was trying to get the new Usher record played. And motherfucker was like, if Tony Q had a choice of playing your album, your record, or Usher's record, who record is gonna pick? He's gonna pick Usher. But I'm saying, like, this is supposed to be a Delaware station, home station, and this guy's winning. You're supposed to show some light over there too, though.
Right.
You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, shout out to Tony Q. He let me get the station every other Sunday. And I had a few people, Benika, Marvar from Ill Strip, my cousin Mont, you know what I'm saying, Nat Nelson. It was a big team, and shout out to DJ Thorough and DJ Killer Noise. You know what I'm saying? And Nat brought Thorough in. And it just been like that forever, and I just keep running it from a digital side now since it's been.
So it's still active?
Yeah, on Facebook. It's not as, like, you know what I'm saying, now I just combine a whole bunch of stuff with Bridge. Like, Bridge and Street was first for just, you know, independent artists be mixed in with the mainstream, and as long as it's a good DJ and it's good solid music, you wouldn't be able to tell who was independent and who was mainstream. It was just hot shit. You feel what I'm saying? You know?
Okay. All right. Bridge to the Streets, man. I've been around for a while, man.
Yeah.
I've been around for a while, for a little. So we're gonna fast forward it. Delaware Norm. And Weed Stock.
Shout out to Weed Stock. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that. I see you got the
the Weed Stock.
You got the hoodie.
Yeah. I don't know if y'all can get all that. Weed Stock. I mean, the group of people with them, like how that all started was, it's an artist named D Harv, and he was in a band called Harvey Road. And I happened to, I know Harv since he was like 20 years old. I was like, I feel like, I always say this, like I feel like I gave him some of his first shows way back when. So when we lost touch for all those years and I ran back into him later on in life, he let me know about the Weed Stock. And I was like, word? I was shocked. I was like, what? Weed? Townsend? What? Where have I been? Because I love cannabis.
Yeah,
you know, that's what it was. So I went to go check it out. Went down there and just came as a volunteer to help out, mudslinging and whatever. Just, you know, me and my son and stuff like that. And the people wound up taking to me. And then the big thing, how everything transitioned was, this is about 2.5, 3 years ago. You know, cannabis wasn't legal here yet. So a lot of stations was afraid to touch them. You know what I mean? So they didn't get no radio play, and they sent it to me. And I'm like, you know, I come from radio and media. So I said, I could put you on the station. They was like, for real? I said, well, I might not be able to put you on prime time because of such a short notice, but I put them on a late night grind. Shout out to John Tay and G1 and DJ Mark and all those guys over there, man. Like, you know, and I called John Tay. I was like, yo, you want some tickets? I was like, fuck yeah. I said, put them on the show. And that started there from there, and that just started that relationship. From there, then I got, you know, asked to join the staff.
Yeah, join the staff. So how is it going for you with that so far? Like, you feel like it's...
I love it, man. I love it. I love it. I wish we could do it more times than just twice a year. Cause it's like if you're a part of that family, you know, it's like it's the cannabis group of people we're already kind of carrying anyway. You know what I'm saying? Sharing it, but that group, that's like family to me. It's like a missing part in my life. And I know that sounds kind of like cliche, but it is. It is like a little family.
So let me ask you something.
Yeah.
So do you feel like all the people that was incarcerated for marijuana, that's still incarcerated for marijuana, do you think there's any chance of them coming home?
They should come home, man. They should come home. I think it's so unfair. And you know, and that's just like the roll of the dice. Like right now, like you could be in Delaware and it's perfectly legal. You know what I'm saying? But it depends on how you got it bagged up. Depending on how or whatever, you know, you might still get in trouble for the chronic. You know what I mean? It's like double standards. But I do think people should come home, especially if it's legal in your state. You feel what I'm saying? That's wrong.
Yeah, that's definitely wrong.
How you feel about it though?
I mean, you know, I feel as though they will come home. I think it's a process. I think, you know, they always trying to make everything a process, no matter what it is. You know, they try to make it a process. It's just a process. You just got to go through it. Eventually, they will get let go. It's kind of messed up that they even did so much time because of marijuana, and people even still. They should have just immediate release everybody that has anything to do with selling marijuana.
Yeah.
Even though y'all legalizing it.
Yeah, they should let them go, man. They should let them go. Especially if it's a non-violent crime.
Especially if it's non-violent crime. If it has nothing to do with any other
just
crime.
Feed their kids or just smoking it for medical purposes. And that's a lot of things that a lot of people get misconstrued too. You know, you might smoke chronic and don't realize that you have an ailment. The reason why it does help you. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people need to stick to the medical side of cannabis. You know what I mean? It is a medicine. It's been around thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years. And I say take cannabis before taking anything.
I think it's good for you, but I feel as though they add, like a lot of other things, they add stuff to.
Well, yeah, you want
to make it more like, even with what you roll up in. You know, people be using, like I myself, I use backwoods too. So it'd be like, when you use a whole lot of backwoods and this and that, kind of, you know, put a little
oomph in it, but it ain't no different than the Europeans. I remember, I'll give you an example. Like, okay, and this before anybody I knew was rolling Fanta, things like that. I took Young Ali on a tour. We in Canada. And so we get up in Canada and shit. And the only reason why I went to Canada, because the way it ran in a High Time magazine, they had the weed. You feel what I'm saying? So I was like, shout out to Mike Wynn. I said, Mike Wynn, yo, put a tour together and let's there in Canada. And I can't believe like Young Ali's mom and everybody, because they were really young. They was like 18, 19. I don't even know if Ali was 21 yet. And I came to every one of their parents to say that I was going to take them on tour to Canada. But when we got to Canada, the way they smoke, sometimes when they smoke their cannabis, they would use grab or like tobacco flakes. Okay. Like taking a Newport with the weed and the tobacco. So instead of rolling up in a blunt, they would just mix the weed with tobacco. So that's the first time when I was really seeing it done with tobacco from a European style standard. So, you know what I mean? So when they incorporated the Fanta and stuff like that down here, I already knew where it kind of came from.
Okay. You've been doing a lot.
I be doing a lot. It look like I do a lot, K.
But it ain't a bad thing though. You're doing a whole lot of positive things. So it's not like, you know, they say if you into a lot, that's not good. Like you always into it, everything, that's not good.
Yeah.
But in your situation, that's a good thing because it's all positive. You know what I mean? It's all positive things. Helping the community, you know, just, it's all positive, man. I respect it and I like it. And I like that.
We need much though. You know what I mean? Like, VICKS everywhere.
That's good. You gotta be everywhere when you're doing stuff positive.
I just want to support it. If it's dope shit, that's why I created Bridge of the Street. That's the reason why I created 700 Entertainment. You know what I'm saying? That's why I love Fortress, because, you know, when you look behind me, everybody be thinking it's VICKS, but it's a fortress. And you part of that fortress, K. Believe it or not. Right?
Yeah, I mean, you can say that.
Yeah.
I mean, you can say that.
Yeah, nah, it's true, nigga. It's really true. And then you pull me up and like, yo, VICKS, I remember such and such and such and such. And then I have to like jog my brain because my life's a blur.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And I'm
see, a lot of people don't know. I mean, a lot of people probably on here don't know. I used to do music.
Yes.
So, you know, me and you was going to do some things together.
Still doing things. Look.
Years back.
Now, look at that.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Right. See how I come back around?
Yeah, that shit crazy.
You know, but it's not a bad thing that you went into everything when it's positive, man. Just keep doing what you're doing. We need more people like that. You just helping, you just encouraging more people to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you still doing the connections, all that, you know?
Yeah.
So. Child time.
That's my upcoming baby right now. Speaking on child time, basically, child time is just a good conversation over a plated meal or drink, infused or non-infused. And I feel like everybody has a story to tell. So not just as well as me putting on my political friends or my famous friends, I also want to put on my regular people to show that everybody, as long as you got a story to tell, I feel like that's necessary. So that's what child time is about, man.
So what's like the podcast?
Yes.
Is it out now? So when do it start?
I'm trying to have it ready by January. Okay. You know what I'm saying? You know, I am not the most skillful, technical, logical person with this, you know, I'm old. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm trying to get it. That's why, you know, I always need a team to try to help me. And me and Jamichael just downloading or uploading or taking the shit from the cloud and downloading was like 3 hours. And I'm sitting there like, shit. You know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't that long. It was download for about an hour or so, and I'm sitting there. We still had shit to do. So I mean, yeah. So it's more the downloading and the editing process. It's more the thing.
That'd be where it's at, the editing.
Yeah,
so people don't understand, man. When you be doing this camera work, like, when they, certain people get upset, when you charge them. Don't get me wrong, it'd be some videographers or photographers that do charge over what they supposed to, but it's like the editing process.
Yes.
That's why we charge y'all for real.
Yeah, no, I think it's tedious thing. I think it's a tedious thing.
It's so much time consuming.
Yeah, it's a tedious thing. It's a tedious thing. But that's a bit of balance. You know what I'm saying? It's and child time is a good cause because what it does is it's really shining a light on our stuff down here. Me connecting the dots. You know what I'm saying? Imagine I'm not saying smart guy wouldn't come down here, but us getting the smart would be next to nothing. I don't think any of our podcasters out here got $5,000 to $10,000 budget. You follow what I'm saying? So someone like myself being mixed in the mix, it just makes it acceptable. And so I just want people to work with me also because I'm paying the big brunt of the shit. You feel what I'm saying? From the food that they gotta eat. If that shit infused, I gotta pay for that. And then if it's a special guest, either I gotta donate to the campaign, donate to whatever. So, it's a different tap. But then what goes on your resume, along with my resume, can get you a great job. Shout out to Late Night Grind.
Shout out. So let me ask you something.
Yes.
Who you think holding it down right now as far as with the music in Delaware, man? Who you think got the torch right now? I'm
gonna name a few, but don't. And this is because when I name names, I forget names. Motherfuckers gonna get upset. But the people that I really see out there working right now is, and there's no in numerical order. It's just people that I see out there working. I see Songbird. She out there working. Shout out to her.
Shout out Songbird.
Shout out Songbird, the goddess. My boy Jay Caesar. With Gilly the Kid situation. Now he had took a little hiatus for a little bit, but I think if he gets back out there and get his feet wet, he got a little thing. Bird, CTF Bird, Harvey Road, Aki Fontaine.
Okay, Aki.
Aki, my little nephew. Like Bird, Aki. They're like my little nephews and shit. So, you know what I'm saying? So I shout out to them, and I just think staying consistent. But who else, man? Who else make S. Romeo? I like S. Romeo. He killing it. You got shit. Now I might fuck this up. So don't get mad at me, ladies. Hoochie, Hollywood Babyface. Don't forget the $sign and Hoochie Baby or some shit. It's a group. They twins.
It's a group.
It's a twins? They dope. They're a little obscene a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
What part of Delaware they from?
I want to say they from right around here. Like shit, if you go to Christiana Mall right now, you can literally see Yachi Baby or Hollywood Babyface on a t-shirt at that t-shirt stand right now. And I think the artists need to start getting more involved with their local companies too.
Most definitely. Most definitely. Most definitely.
And I'm planning on bridging that gap there too with just like the local community because these companies want those people. They don't know who to ask or who to talk to. You know what I'm saying? They don't know who's a hot thing out here yet or anything like that. But if you come and approach them with something and it all makes sense, why not?
Yeah.
So I think year 2025, you're going to see a lot of more of the artists getting a lot of more different sponsorships and being more involved into the community projects and things like that. From my perspective, if you're on my Rolodex, that's my plan. Getting you involved.
All right, so you've been in the game for a minute. You've been involved with the entertainment business in Delaware for a minute, as far as I can remember. So would you say Delaware entertainment music has changed? Like as far as
matured. It's matured. That's what I say. Like when I started bridging the streets and shit, and I'm running around and telling people offset the budget. You know what I'm saying? You got to invest in yourselves and all that. A lot of cats in the beginning didn't understand what I meant. They thought they could just go to the studio, record it by a beat, and then they know somebody like VICKS, and then it's like, it works that way, not realizing that you're running like a small label. So when you're running like a small label, you still got to have that budget for marketing. You got to have the budget for promoting. You got to have the gas money to get there. You understand what I'm saying? Like that. And then even promoting your record. You remember that big situation came up where everybody thought payola, and all that shit. But that's at the end of the day, that was all bullshit, because when you look at Universal Records or a Def Jam, they paid $150,000 to an iHeart or Clear Channel for you to promote all their artists. Wouldn't that be still considered payola?
Mm-hmm.
You follow what I'm saying? So a lot of artists had to mature from that and realize that, you know, yeah, you might have to talk to a Cosmic Cab. Yeah, you want him to take a little interest in you. You might have to make someone a little happy, per se. You know what I mean? Take a nigga out to dinner, pause. You know what I'm saying? But like, you know, make them feel valued, because you need value from them. You know what I'm saying? So I always supported that. And I think what always kept me in the open situation, I even donated to political campaigns. Things that wanted, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because at one point I was a wanted person. Like when I was doing Bridge of the Streets and all that, I was a ghost, per se. I was all in the forefront, all in the magazines, putting all the artists in the magazine, but I was also on the front. Right. But I think what kept the heat off of me was I would donate to campaigns. So I would be in there with the governor, write a check to the campaign. And it just makes, and not, you know, not saying anything about the policing or anything like that. It just turned blind eyes, because it wasn't like I was wanted for something serious. I was wanted for something civil, you know, family shit. And then it get deeper than that. So, you know, I think, like, you know, if you really want to make a stand, you really want to be known and seen, get involved in your sector, get involved with your councilman, get involved.
Definitely get involved. Definitely. Speaking of that.
Yes, sir.
How you feel about Trump being in office, man?
Man, listen. A political question. You know.
Yeah, we're gonna get into it.
You know, in all fist of body. I mean, when Trump was in there before, and I don't really get too deep into politics, but I felt okay. This last administration, I mean, it messed my fucking money up. For my Cash App, I gotta report this certain shit, all this other stuff, and make shit go more underground, man. And right now, what I think America needs right now, we need to care about us. And no offense to any other entities out there, you know what I mean? But we need to care about us. We got a lot of shit going on here. You know what I'm saying? You ever been down in DC and seen like the homelessness shit down in DC before? That shit fucks me up.
Look at Philly. Look at Kensington.
But
Kensington, listen, I ain't seen nothing.
I ain't never seen nothing like that either. The open drug market and all that shit.
Crazy. That looked like
that's crazy, right?
Off a movie, bro.
That's crazy, right?
I mean, you got a street, you got a block full of tents and homeless people and drug addicts, and it's like, yo, it's right here in the open.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it's right here in the open.
We need to, you know, I'm not knocking anybody hustle. I come from the world of hustling, so I'm not knocking that. But we gotta do something. Shit.
There's some parts in Wilmington that's like that.
Shit, I think somebody just was, I remember, not a member of Wingstop, but they used to come to the events. Somebody just got murdered up there in Wilmington. They just caught the girl and stuff like that. But still, man, yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
But, you know, it is what it is, man. It's just the world we live in, you know, and all that. But, so are you more into local political?
Nah, my arms reach all the way to Colombia. Give you an example, my daughter went on a trip and they ran out of cannabis. And she was like, my dad can get it to her boyfriend. He's like, really? I made a couple calls, had somebody drive off the mountain and give him some cannabis. And that just made, like, you know, her boyfriend was just like, who the fuck is your dad? Because when he met me, I'm at Weed Stop, running around. And then, you know, see me again, I might be with something famous. And then, you know what I'm saying? So he just looked at like, well, who the fuck is your dad? Like, this nigga's had somebody that's come off the mountaintop in Colombia while I'm in the bed chilling. So, and shout out to my boy, Aaron McCray. That's, you know, that's all connection. You know what I'm saying? That's all politics and connections.
That's what it's about, man. So that's definitely what it's about. Collections, just being around the right people, being in the right rooms.
Right. And not burning bridges.
Not burning bridges. I was going to say that. Not burning bridges.
Show the proper respect that you want respected to you. You give it back to that person. I think that keep you going a long way.
Do you see a lot of people burning bridges out here? Or you see too much of that?
I see people, you know, get in certain position and then fucking forget where they came from. And then, you know, like, you know, I was never that dude. Like, you know, no matter if I'm winning here or losing here, I'm always going to support because I believe in universal law.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You get in what you put in. You know what I'm saying? I've been blessed. So I believe that theory. You know what I mean? And yeah, that's pretty much universal law, man. Give, and you get back.
So with your podcast that you started, do you feel like podcast taking over? You feel like it's taking over with the media?
It's the new shit.
With the entertainment? Like that's just like really like what's really going on?
It's the new shit, yo. It's the new shit. Like, you know, think about like when Video Music Box started. Shout out to Rock Medallions too, and Bro Mike, and all those guys out there in New York. But you know, when Video Box started, you could actually not just hear the person on the radio, you can actually see the video and the image and, you know, all that stuff like that. It's almost the same thing with the podcasting. Like, you know what I'm saying? You get a chance to see the person and it's just another form of media, man. I think it's needed. I actually like it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I like it. I
think get a chance that people express themselves, people that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it helps a lot of people because you got different topics. You know, so many different topics with these podcasts, and it's like a lot of that stuff people be needing to hear. You know what I mean? So I support it, I respect it, and I think more people should definitely jump on it and, you know, get on it and make it shake.
Yes.
But I don't think people believe in the social media world right now for some reason. I just be looking and watching. I just feel as though people don't really believe in it, man.
I mean, well, it depends what generation you're looking at. Like, if I take my son, like, my son doesn't even look at cable. You feel what I'm saying? His whole world is right there, from social media to the TikTok to the YouTube. To compare to us when we growing up, you know what I mean? We wanted cable. You know what I'm saying? So it's a change. As a change has happened, it's gonna keep changing. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna keep changing, and you gotta roll with the punches. Like, radio is still there, but radio only holds the purpose of you're just hearing your top 40, but you're not really hearing.
I think the only people that listen to the radio is the people that's incarcerated. That's my opinion. I don't think too many people listening to the radio out here in the world.
They control their own media. Like, you can go to YouTube and put up a playlist.
And you just, it's so many different media outlets for music and just listening to podcasts and even watching all type of stuff. So I feel as though like the radio is just like, I'm surprised they even still.
Well, I tell you why radio will survive. Because the difference between a podcast and a radio is going to give you your local information. So let's say if you listen to your Power 99 or your WBLS and all that shit like that, you're going to hear what's going on around the hood or upcoming events that you can't hear from the podcast per se around here. So radio is always going to be needed for that point of view. Follow what I'm saying? Traffic watch, weather, what party going on, what Kevin Hart special that's going to be in your region. So that's how radio is going to still play a part. But eventually that's going to die out also because, you know, with just marketing with the Facebook, you can section out regions now for $5, $1. You know how much it used to cost to do radio? Like, to give you an example, when I used to buy airtime and paper, like I would buy airtime, let's just give it a magical number. Let's say it costs for airtime for a whole hour on Kiss about $1,500 to $2,000. But then retail, if you broke it down for that whole hour, you got about $8,000. Okay. You follow what I'm saying? Okay. So, in the same with just like with even like, you know, because when I started, it was airtime and paper. Like, you know, how I put Kusto in the Double XL, Hip Hop Weekly, all that, The Source and all that. That's when the magazines were very heavy. To now everything is moved to digital. You know what I'm saying?
Ain't too many magazines.
Yeah, ain't too many magazines out there. So, you know, but it's still the same gameplay. You still gotta, my thing, we used to just buy the whole fucking page. I buy like 3-4 pages, and then I find artists such as yourself that's got a full project that's trying to get out there to the massive, and I break the page down just like I was breaking down a brick.
Okay.
And offer it to you. Yeah.
You can do the same, it's the same thing online with a website.
Yeah, it's the same shit.
The same thing with website.
Even with your podcast, and like eventually, Kay, I see like, you know, you see all this space, even like right here. Let's just take this space right here. Right. I see money. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, say for Fortress Empire. I want Fortress Empire, so I say, yo, $25 a month, I just give to your podcast, but you just put a little Fortress Empire.
Right.
Or like, my boy that will take child time at Frogs right here in the corner. Or we stop, grab a little. See all this space is money. Even these spaces up in here. You know what I'm saying? Everything. So once you look at it like that, you know what I mean? Everything, the table, all this shit, that's all money. It's all money, even down to the cameras that you're using. You know what I mean? Like, you use Sony. You know what I'm saying? So
Sony bull.
Yeah, so you know what I mean? Yeah, so I'm just saying, like, so those it's money in that. It's all money in that. And the corporations want that, but they gotta be aware of you. So you gotta reach out. And it might not, it might take like 20 calls. But eventually you'll run into somebody that's gonna see that vision and understand. And they're gonna help you.
It's a lot of
bust your ass to get it.
It's a lot of young people. It's a lot of young people, that don't know that, and they need OGs like you.
I'm giving them the jewels right now
for the game.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So anybody that's starting a podcast, anything like that, just look at your real estate, and that's the main thing. Even like for $10, you can have something scrolling right here. Check out whatever. For 20 seconds, then that disappeared, then something else scrolls down there. That's all valuable.
Motion.
Yeah, that's all valuable intel and data, and people want that.
Man, I appreciate the jewels, man. The game you've been dropping on us, man. I love to have these conversations with dudes that have been in the game for so long and still got their hands in the game right now. Ain't lose sight of it. Still no talent. Still grind, like, I like seeing that, man. You grind harder than a lot of people that's young, man. And it ain't too much hate in what you do, and I respect that. You getting it off the muscle. You ain't getting it down at somebody else or downplaying somebody or don't go that way, go this way. You want to see everybody win, and you still grinding and doing your thing like that, man.
If you win, I win type situation. So that's been my format from the gate. You understand?
And it's like that in Delaware Pier because it's so small. Just think about it. Once somebody open it in Delaware, you gotta think of so many people gonna start just watching and being curious, like what's going on out there. For example, for this fight. Just for them having a fight out here.
Fredo too, man.
Shout out to Fredo, man.
Really knock that motherfucker out, man. If not, we got to look at the Philly shit. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna be able to talk. You know what I mean? And so Fredo knocked that nigga out, but.
By the time this interview come out, the fight will be over.
It'll be over.
Hopefully
knocked him out.
Hopefully we talking into existence, man.
For a person that's not really involved, the shit make me nervous because I know what's on the line.
Right.
At the end of the day, you know what I mean? The BS and shit. Now for a whole year, if Bebo knocked this motherfucker out, you know what I'm saying? We gonna hear that shit. And then Gilly gonna emphasize on that shit, and then we gonna have to take that backlash for a year, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it also shows in a good light, and that shit's on pay-per-view too right now. So it's it's a big light, and I'm glad to see that our state is being able to hold shit like that, and we that's why I said our entertainment business out here is starting to mature.
Yeah,
they're going, you know what I mean? It took some time. It took people like me to start the bridge of the streets and showing that this shit was possible. You know what I mean? Until now, I see a lot more believers and people doing things. So,
I appreciate you coming on the platform, showing love, man. Hopefully, this is not the only time you come on the platform. You're more than welcome to come anytime.
Thank you.
Thanks to phone. Yo, K-Lens, hey, I need to get on there. We need to talk about some things.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that too, because I definitely will. I want to come back in March.
Okay.
You know what I mean? With maybe more people from the Weed Stock crew, and we get everybody ready for that Easter weekend in April. You know what I'm saying? And if you guys want to volunteer or anything of that nature, want to know more, you can go to weedstock.org, and you get more information on that situation.
All right, man. Appreciate it, man. Nice having you, man.